Hello and welcome! I'm Jenny Hall. Thanks for joining me for another card making tutorial. Today I'm creating a baby card and I'm going to share a few techniques. I'm stamping with Moon Baby stamp set and I'm going to feature a watercolor wash and also make sure that it's ombre colored. To achieve this, I have a scrap of watercolor paper, and I'm using my aqua painter filled with tap water to cover the whole piece of watercolor paper. Creating a watercolor wash is one of the requests that I have to give more detailed demonstrations because this seems to be a subject that crafters struggle with. My first piece of advice is to make sure that you always use watercolor paper and that you make sure that you're applying your color to the paper that is wet. This does make a difference. It makes a tremendous difference. So making sure that it's sufficiently wet will allow the colors to bleed into each other and blend while they're on the paper, and it also helps the paper to accept the coloring much more easily. I'm using 3 different blue colors to get a gradient or an ombre look that is going to look like a night sky. I plan on placing a baby on a panel and I want it to look like it's darker up toward the top than it is on the bottom. I'm not getting such a great coverage with this darkest blue, so I'm going to keep adding a little bit, and then there's only so much that I can do to get it dark enough. There is the option of drying the paper and then adding another layer of blue on top, and I could keep going that way for many layers. But I have something else in mind that might help me to be able to achieve more of an ombre look. Ombre is a term that describes like a color change that's very fluid from one color to another. I'm sure there's a more technical explanation, but I'm trying to give just the very basis. I'm going back with the exact same colors that I used to do the watercolor wash, and I'm using the stamp pad with a sponge dauber. I know my hands are moving very fast, but it is a bit of a sped up video just to save some time. The mid color that I chose to use is Tempting Turquoise, and this color here would be more like the glow color. And then the deepest shade was Night of Navy, and I just stayed up at the very top with the Night of Navy. I don't want to overwhelm the project with too much color, which would take away from that ombre look. I've stamped the image of the sleeping child with some brown ink. All of the products are listed down in the video description to give you exactly which stamp pads I used. I'm adding some dark colored tones to the subject because both of my babies are brown, and so I should say brown skinned. And so whenever I stamp and color babies, then my instinct is always to go to brown skin. You can certainly use lighter colors if you need to make the skin a lighter shade, or even darker colors if you would like for the color tones of the subject's skin to be darker. I find it very entertaining to color in skin whenever I'm using my Stampin' Blends alcohol markers, because I can get the colors to blend out so well and so naturally that color tones are so easy to achieve. I'm going to heat emboss the sentiment that says "Hello Baby" because my oldest son, Trip, who is the one that you hear at the end of each one of my videos, he is so fond of saying "Hello Baby" to any baby that he sees. If it's a photograph or a video or even a real baby, then that's always his go-to, is hello baby. And having this sentiment was perfect. He'll love this card. I'm mounting everything onto white so that the blue just really jumps off of the page. I'll add the subject, or the little sleeping baby, to the project with some mini glue dots. That will be enough to keep the baby in place. I don't fear that it's going to fall off. Adding some teeny weeny tiny pearls instead of rhinestones are going to help soften the look of the little sprinkly, twinkly look in the sky. The inside of the card is kept very simple with some of the stars that are from Moon Baby stamp set. This was not a hard card for me to put together, and I believe that you could try this method of watercolor wash and ombre coloring. If you have any questions about how to achieve this above and beyond what I've demonstrated today, just leave me a comment, and we can work it out for you. I'd love to help you be able to achieve this look. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you in the next video.
Hi, my name is Trip. Thanks for watching the video. See you next time.